Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Darla Lucian of Darla Lucian Studios, and we are here today to do another ATC artist trading card. But before we get going, I would like to ask you to like. Liking my content helps to move me up in the algorithm, and that, I can't talk, move me up in the algorithm so that other people will be able to find me in my videos. So if you're finding it inspiring, please hit like. Also, if you're getting great content, if you're working on a project and you're needing to get some ideas, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also helps to grow my channel, but also gets you notifications when the next videos are out so that you can keep your inspiration rolling. Comment, please. I love to hear what you think about stuff. We are going to be working with dried flowers today. Lavender, these edible blossoms, I think they're mostly pansies. Have you worked with that kind of stuff before? We're going to give it a try today and just see what happens. And then share with other people who need to be inspired. All right, so we are going to go and give this a try today. I wanted to show you this. I had found it, I think, through a Google search, and this is just like what you might put on the back of your artist trading card. So you put it back there, and then it says title, number, edition, series, artist, and blog, and the date. I mean, you might not need all that information, or it might be some kind of the wrong information, like I guess I'm kind of doing a series, but I mean, there's nothing that's really linking the things together that I'm doing. I'm just using these as a very small miniature place to experiment. So maybe I will have to call my series the experiment series, but anyway, so I just wanted to show you kind of like what is the normal deal for on the backs of these. So this is one example. So we will try putting that on maybe at the end, depending on how quickly this dries. So I'm going to just get started with this. My thought was that I would collage down a little bit of paper, and I want to do this one in purples. So I have my purple bin here. I'm just going to move these out of the way here for a sec, because we're not ready for them just yet. Oops. This doesn't matter hugely, but I want to put the lids on the right places. Okay. So these are just drawers from my paper tower, I call it. And each drawer has a color. And then I put my scrappy bits from my projects back in here. I try to keep my projects together, but every once in a while, you know, you have your scrappy bits. You know what I'm saying? And so then this is all of like the individual papers that I might have purchased and all the scrappy bits. And if I get really fancy, I don't know if I have one in here, but I use a one of those page protectors that goes in a binder, and I put my really tiny bits in there. I don't think I did, because I'm seeing all kinds of tiny bits in here. Anyway, ooh, that's kind of fun. Let's see, what else are we finding in here? Oh, this polka dotty stuff is kind of interesting. Let's see. It's kind of stiff. It's not really what I'm looking for. Oh, those might work. There's some more kind of... I'm looking for smaller bits is what I'm looking for, because this is a tiny little area to work on. And you just never know what you'll find in here. So I like vellum, but I'm not going to use vellum for this project because we're going to be using a napkin over top to decoupage, and I think that the vellum likes to curl up at the corners, and I don't think that that's going to work as nicely for our projects. So, oh, there's some purple magazine writing stuff. And there's a dark purple. This is actually origami paper. It is so thin. I love how it feels. Maybe we'll try some of that too. Alright. We probably have a sufficient amount, but let's say that's a good start. Okay. I have lost my card. There you are. Okay, so we're going to use, I'll put this on the side. I guess I don't need my ink for this one. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to use just regular, like, school glue. I think I have a paper towel. Okay, so we're just going to paint the card with this regular school glue. My brush was a little bit wet with water. That's why I squeezed it out. And then we're going to collage on here the little scraps that we got. We'll see how we like it. Just random bits and pieces. This is quite pretty. Put it kind of in the middle. This one already was looking like it was used for collage, I think. Okay, so now I'm just going to start putting it on the backs because it's going to start overlapping. And that's not going to be as handy for having things stick down at the edges, which is really what we need. Okay. Alright, so I've used that one. I've used that one. What else do we have here that we might want to try? Maybe some of this darker stuff. It's got a little bit, I'm getting all very gluey over here. So there's a bit of grayish brown, kind of a taupe, I guess, on it. So I'm going to just put it right there. Let's come right over to the edge. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's stuff we've used already. Okay. What if I use some of this magazine bits and pieces here? Like that. So I have got a chunk of glue on there, so I'm just going to try to get that off. Waste not, want not, right? And plus, I don't want it all over my hands. My son hates having his hands sticky. When he was little, his face could be the stickiest, like with food, with, you know, with whatever he was playing with or whatever, but his hands, he could not stand his hands sticky. That's the funniest thing. Alright, so I'm trying not to glue it down to my glue pad. So I need a little bit there, and I need some here yet. But I still have lots of choices. So I think I'm going to add a little dark bit to that corner there. That maybe? I should have tore it the other way if I wanted it to go across the bottom. That's alright. I need it to go this way too. Oh, let's go up a bit. Alright. Alright, so then there was this polka dotty stuff. This is a bit stiffer, but that's alright. Maybe I'll tear off the ends a little so it looks a little more collage-y. Is that a word? No. The torn edges is what makes you think collage a lot. That's completely untrue because you can have completely straight edges if you wanted to. There's no rules with collage. That's the fun bit. I'm using I'm giving myself a rule and saying that I want to stay in a monochromatic color here, in the purples. Wow, I'm getting super painty here. Okay. But I mean, you can do anything, right? Like that's the fun with collage. All right, and I think that's my last piece there. All right, so then let's put these little pieces away. And while that's drying for just a minute, before I cut it up so that, like trim it to the card size, I just wanted to thank my new subscribers from last week. We had Linda's Mixed Up Mess. Thank you so much for your comments. It was lovely chatting with you. Vintage Rose Creations by Kim. Thank you so much for subscribing. My Scrapyard. Thank you for subscribing. Angela's Crafty Space. Thank you for subscribing. Judith A. Birch. Thank you for subscribing. Girly Girl Creates. Oh, I love that. So thank you for subscribing. Judy P's Crafty Journeys. Thank you for subscribing and your comments. Again, I love chatting with you guys. And Deanne's Designs. Thank you so much for subscribing and for your lovely comments. I love chatting with you guys. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, we are working really hard to get toward 100 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you. So I think of you every time I'm planning videos. I'm thinking, what are you guys looking for? And if you can comment and let me know what you're looking for, I mean, that would be so helpful, because I really do want to give you guys the best content that I can. I love creating. I love that you guys are along on the ride with me. And if I can give you content that's what you're looking for right now, I mean, so much the better. All right, so now I'm just trimming this close to the card, as close as I can without cutting the card. That's sometimes tricky. All right, so I'm just going to use this to dump my trash. All right, so now we have our card, which is dampish, but not bad. And so what I'm going to do is, once again, I am going to cover it with glue. So this is a bit like decoupaging at this point. In case you haven't decoupaged before, usually you put glue down underneath, put paper down, and then put glue on top. And often it's a collage, but it doesn't have to be necessarily. Like, people will decoupage napkins or different kinds of things. And, ooh, I missed a spot there. All right. Decoupage, like napkins, is the thing that I've seen the most that's been decoupaged, I guess. But I mean, you can do kind of anything. And it just creates kind of a seal on your work, so that it's not exactly waterproofed, but a little bit, right? All right, so now we're just going to put, do you remember those handmade papers that used to be the rage in the 90s, I think? I don't know. That's kind of when I first started scrapbooking, and that's, I guess, when I noticed them. They probably have been around for longer than that. But they had these papers that were handmade papers, and then they had, like, flowers in them, like petals and different things. And so this is what we're simulating here. All right, so I have just sprinkled them all over this card. Now, this is not my original idea. As you guys know, I try to give credit where credit is due, and I'm pretty sure, I can't quite remember, I looked this morning to try to see if I could find the video and give you the link, and I can't find it. I'm so sure, though, that it was the Paper Outpost, Pam at the Paper Outpost, who did something like this. And so I'm going to give her a shout out, because she inspires me greatly. And so even if I'm sure it was her, but if it wasn't her, this is just the kind of thing that she does. So She'll inspire you too if you go check it out. All right, so this is part of a napkin. Napkins come in 3-ply, and when you want to use the colored part of a napkin for something like what I did in my, let me show you actually, in my winter journal, not my winter journal, sorry, my Christmas daily, December daily. Let's see, I had a page where I had decoupaged a napkin. There we go. So it was a Christmas napkin, and I just wanted to cover up the back because the back of this paper had writing on it. And so I decoupaged this down. I think I actually used Podgy for this, but Podgy is just essentially glue. Anyway, so if you separate out the plies, because you need to do that when you're decoupaging, you can't just, it doesn't work as good when you have the 3 plies together. Then you're left, once you have your colored one off, you are left with 2 others. Now, one of them will have kind of a ghost image on usually, and those are fun to use too in a more subtle way. And then you have ones that are just plain white, which really is a lot like tissue paper or Kleenex. But anyway, we're going to use this napkin to create our faux paper. So again, another layer of glue. Now you know why I put so much glue out. So let's just see if this is going to work. I might have talked too long and let the glue dry, but maybe we'll start from the middle and work out. Let's see what happens. This is kind of fun. So then the other thing I wanted to do in this video with you guys today, I have had some questions this week from some people who are new to junk journaling, and we're wondering, like, junk journals are beautiful and all, but what are they for? And I thought we could take a few minutes out of today's video and just talk about what in the world do you even use a junk journal for. So we'll see how this turns out. I am not as hopeful as I was at the beginning. Maybe I should have done a test run, but you know me, I like to just try it with you guys. So lots of people use junk journals as just regular journals, like a diary, or, you know, writing down events, or, you know, planning if you're like a bullet journaler, which is kind of more of a popular way of saying things these days. And just use it as a regular journal. Now, junk journals don't have to be fancy. They can be kind of whatever you need them to be. In fact, I think that's what I like about bullet journaling and about junk journaling, is they're very adaptable. And I find that the planners you can buy in the stores do not fit what my life is, because sometimes my life is busy, sometimes it's not, but I need room for flexibility, because I don't know, my life changes. I don't know about you, but if I had bought a traditional planner for 2020, it would have been mostly wasted, because things change so much. All right, so I am going to, I need to glue right to the edge here. I'm going to let this dry, and then we're going to cut off the excess napkin and just see what happened with our project here. Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to seal it down at the edge so that our bits will stay in. You know what I mean. Okay, it's not wanting to be terribly helpful, so maybe I'll just pull it down a little. All right. So with that said, let me put this over on my drying table. I wanted to show you guys what are some of the things that I use the journals for. So like I said, a daily journal. So I'm going to show you. Oh man, I gotta get this glue off my fingers. Okay. So this was my November daily. It was just really simply made. I can actually show you at the back because I didn't cover all of it. I made it out of an envelope, and I left the envelope so that I could actually put things in if I wanted. Now, I don't think this one's actually going to fit because it's too big, but. And so then it's just a piece of wallpaper border that's stitched onto that. And then I picked a bunch of papers. Some of them were quite plain, and I just stitched right down the center. with my machine and stitch them in with my machine. And I hadn't done that before, but it worked slick. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it worked. And so I have different kinds of papers. You can hear I have tea-dyed papers. I have construction paper. I have a lot of construction paper in this one because I thought I'd use it up. Some scrap papers and stuff. But you can see that I just used it as a regular journal. Like even the different parts that flip around. And I just started. Oh, and I stamped on the construction paper to make it more of like scrapbooking paper, like have more interest. And so, I mean, you can create your own patterns of paper by using stamps, or you can make stamps to create interest on your pages. And this was just actually out of a different planner, and since it said November, I thought that was great. And I know a couple of people who have diabetes, so I just left that on there. And so, oh, I still have one day I need to finish. I hadn't come back to day 3. Oh, look. November 2, I opened my Etsy shop. Oh, see? It feels like so long ago when that happened. How is it only November 2? Anyway, so some days I like have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days on a page because it's literally, there was not as much to say. And like what I said, 2020, right? But then other days, there was much more to be said. Like this one, I used this little bookmark thing, and it just flips up, just as sort of an interest on the page for Remembrance Day. And my son's birthday, so then there were, I put a few pictures in. And so it's kind of, it's like a scrapbook, kind of like a diary. Actually, a lot of mine kind of look that way. And so you get the idea. And I put, you know, some of the movies we were watching as the Christmas season started ramping up. And I got a new mouse. So I put that in. Yeah, so you get the idea. So that was the November one. I actually did November daily because I was going to do a December daily on camera. And I was a little nervous about what to do. And I bet if you haven't junk journaled before, especially if you haven't junk journaled in front of people before as a daily thing, it can be a little daunting. Anyway, I had gotten a set made of these Christmas junk journals. And so I wanted to take one with you guys. And if you haven't seen it, there's a flip through there's a list, sorry, and I'll be bringing a flip through video of this one shortly, maybe later today. We'll see how that goes. No promises. But oh yeah, this is telling me I need to get my family photo in here. I haven't done that yet, so that's the last thing. But again, so it's a junk journal, so it's got junky bits in here, you know, like an old Christmas card that just folds out. But I use the back for writing space. Even on the little bits and pieces, like I put the information there, and this was the day Rachel got her shots. So then I put her aftercare immunization in a pocket. I just created a pocket for it. You know, it's very easy to do writing if you just number them for the date. So this is number 1. This tag's number 2. That tag has a number 3, 4, and 5. And that's all for the 4th. So it doesn't matter that they're little tiny bits and pieces. They all have journaling. And I just kind of kept the story going. Although each one has, you know, the next, like, what else happened that day kind of thing. Oh, and I didn't put this one back in. But, you know, the backs of Christmas cards make excellent surfaces for journaling. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that one back in right this second, and I don't want to take your time up for that. But again, so lots of different ideas. Using an old envelope to slide some index cards and Christmas cards in works. Pockets with all kinds of tags, all different kinds of pockets. And we use different kinds of embellishments, things from everyday life, but also you know, things that we've made, like with stickers and book pages and things. So anyway, you kind of get the idea of what a daily journal is. And then you can create a journal for an event. So this past year, 2020, my husband and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. And so that's a silver anniversary for those of you who keep track of those kinds of things. And I wanted to celebrate it. Our colors were purple for our wedding, so I wanted to do some kind of a celebration for it. And it was 2020, so we couldn't really do anything. Plus, those of you who know my husband know that large crowds of people give him hives, so that probably wasn't going to happen anyway. So this one has a lot more lace than most of my journals do because it's like wedding-y. And I do have a flip through of this. This is one of my earlier flip throughs, I think. So I'm not sure how great the sound is on that video, but you can check it out below, and you'll see a picture of this on the cover if you're interested. So this is for an event. So I mean, it's kind of private because it's our wedding stuff, but I just wanted to let you know, like, you can record things, like record events. I wanted to show you. Okay, I'll show you the picture of us. I don't want to show the picture of the wedding party because I don't have permission to show them on camera. So, like, I put our picture of our wedding, from our wedding, and our wedding invitation that we had, and I just clipped that in. And like, so throughout the journal is just all writing about, you know, our first 25 years together. So an event. So you could go day by day, or you could do an event, or you could do something like this. I call this my pensive, and this is essentially, it's like a glue book or like an art journal. People call these things different things. Anyway, this is a place where I come to and I just put bits and things down, you know. There's all different kinds of flippy bits. I don't have a lot of journaling in here, but I have kept things and bits that I like, that inspire me, and you can see that I'm trying to keep to a certain color theme. So I'll have pinks, purples, grays, creams, and blacks, silver kind of thing. So I'm trying to keep to the very monochromatic, except for pink and purple is kind of the idea here. Oh yeah, that one's clipped on, that's why. And so you see, I do have some things. This was a thank you card. So I was given the thank you card, that I took the back of the card off, and I glued a piece of note paper inside. So I could actually put some writing there if I wanted to. One of the things, just putting quotes in is kind of fun. I loved this paper. This has been one of my favorite vellum papers because it has dragonflies on. I really, really like dragonflies, and so that was really fun to see that. These little guys have like the butterfly wings on. Anyway, so that said, it's kind of a collaging book. It's kind of an art journal. There's lots of flippy outy bits. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one is up here. And then that one flips open at that point. See, I have places that I've created to journal. I haven't journaled in here. To me, this is just a book that I look through, that I like what it looks like. And by the way, the vellum was really stiff, so it worked really good as a closure for the flippy bits, so that they don't keep flipping out all the time. And it was also a place for me to try some things. So like, I made a double pocket here by stitching 2 pages together. And then here, I have tuck spots here and belly band here. So I tried a few things with this, and I kind of like how it turned out. And I've got lots of bits and papers tucked in there. That'll make a great spot to put quotes and things. That's kind of what I started with. You are part of all that surrounds you. Celebrate your connection with the beauty of and mystery of life. Yeah. So, art journaling. I'm not going to flip through this whole thing because, in fact, there is a whole video about this. There's, I have a whole bunch of videos down the list. If you go onto my channel, you can find some flip throughs of those. Okay, so then there's something simply a gratitude journal. Now this one is just, I think it's like dollar store or something, but I liked the autumn colors because when I had got it originally, I think it was autumn. I was thinking we need to do gratitude, so my printing wasn't as nice back then. It's funny how things grow and change, but I haven't even done any altering to the pages. They're just blank pages. And you could, like, this is the journal that we're using for Gratitude Journal right now. When we go to a new journal for Gratitude Journal, I'll probably do a junk journal for that. But you can write your thank yous, what you're grateful for, in a junk journal. Lots of people use it for quotes or bits and pieces of information that they want to be able to remember. So I'm just going to put that away. Well, let's just see how our project's coming along. Oh, I'm very hopeful. Look at this. I mean, it still needs to dry a bit, but I like how that's coming. I think this is going to turn out really well. All right, well, I am going to let it keep drying. And when it's done, I'll make sure that I show you next week when we do another ATC, because I don't want it to, like, you don't need to sit here and watch it dry. That's like watching paint dry. So thank you so much for coming along and watching. I hope you got some inspiring ideas of how to use junk journals, what to use them for. I hope that you won't be afraid to use them. They're so great to get in. And you can tuck in so many different kinds of memories and things. And they're really, really a special thing that you can make as a treasure or just as an experiment. Either way, there's quite a spectrum for what you can use them for. Anyway, thank you so much for coming along on the journey with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll just see you in the next video.